I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. Oh, shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty! If you smell what The Rock is cooking!
I guess we got Dwayne the Stone Johnson in with us today.
Yeah, more like Dwayne the Boulder.
Oh, that's true.
He's a little bigger than
mean.
Stone.
That's mean.
No, he's because if you think of a stone, you think of a stone.
Do you enjoy doing the show?
Yeah, but
It doesn't matter if you enjoy doing the show. All right, I'm done.
that was good.
There we go.
That was good.
Congratulations, Rudy. You did something.
I wanted to surprise you guys this week.
I contributed.
I'm not Eugene, asshole.
But you still do not have to wear the thong.
We were terrible.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, getting into it.
get
You
into
want to start us off this week, Keith?
Yeah, I think big topic in the wrestling world. The stuff that's been going on with Alberto Del Rio and Paige, which is really is kind of a shame because Paige was one of the brightest stars they had in the women's division right before the women's revolution that they had or whatever. And since she's been with Del Rio, she's failed 2 wellness policies. She had neck surgery. Now, granted, the neck surgery was probably built up from years and years of wrestling, and then it was just finally time for it to happen. But she's had that. Multiple, scuffles between her and Del Rio and maybe other people as well. But it's kind of weird because you think about it. She sits there, what happened at the airport this weekend, where they had a huge fight, and then she lies through her teeth, saying pretty much, "Oh, it was a fan. We didn't do that." And then later on,
Then
after
they had the recorded audio.
then the audio
proving
comes
it
out
completely the other way.
Yeah, and then Paige finally goes, "Okay, yes, we got an argument, blah 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 blah, but we're fine. They're still together." Her brother came out on Facebook and said that Del Rio hits her pretty much and has the money to cover it up. Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, I get it. Some people just can't get out of an abusive relationship, and it's part of it, and it's sad because now her career is pretty much in the fucking toilet.
Yeah,
considering
a lot of people
how
said
bright she was,
how bad it was when those pictures and everything got released of her. But then you go back in the timeline. That was her brightest time in the company. She was enjoying herself.
Well, not when the photos themselves came out, but when those things were taken and everything was
they were
there.
happening.
Well, she was still only 18 also when that happened. She was 18. She was young, and that's a mistake thing. The stuff with Del Rio now, granted, she's only 24 still. So she's still young, but you really can't blame that with all this stuff. This is just... I think she's just used to abusive relationships, and it's not good for her. I feel bad for her. I hope she finally figures a way out of this and gets herself back on track. But
I think once she's finally rid of Del Rio, she needs to leave wrestling for a while, leave everybody, just focus on herself.
Yeah, I think she does need to get help, and I
honestly think that if she were to come back and when she's like 28, see if do all the training again, I think she would be welcomed back by the WWE community.
I think she'll be welcomed back now if she came back, but she needs to get herself mentally there. And she's still recovering from the neck surgery, so she's almost there. And I've heard Del Rio say she's not allowed to contact WWE. She's tried, but he's just not allowing it.
Oh man, dude! The moment I saw that she was with him and starting to date him, I didn't, and many other people were like, "That's a really bad move on her part."
Yeah,
Del Rio, I never liked him. Always thought he was an asshole. And
so does everyone else.
And there's his true colors, showing.
It's there.
Fucking hate the guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Part of my French. I hate him. Thanks, Del Rio, for fucking up my favorite, female wrestler's career. I hope you rot in hell, you son of a bitch.
He pretty much gets away because he is a good wrestler when he's in the ring. He puts on great matches.
He is. He is a good wrestler, but here's the thing.
I think he's having a lot of substance abuse problems right now.
I think he definitely is on steroids because if you look back when he came back and faced Cena and took the title from him, he had Batista's figure. of physique like Batista, and Del Rio was never like that in the beginning. So he's definitely took steroids or something, and now that may be part of it. He obviously has an alcohol problem because every time he has alcohol, there's something wrong kind there. Of rant. Yeah, he always does some sort of rant on somewhere. Really, I mean, he's already upset about the one comment where it didn't even bring up Paige's name. They just said Xavier Woods was rated R during that rap battle, and now he wants to fight Triple H, the New Day, and the Usos all together. And it's like, what's the point? This guy is the face of a whole nother company, yet can't keep WWE out of his mouth.
No.
I don't know. I feel bad for Paige. I hope she can figure it out. Del Rio is just one of those guys. And I feel bad for Global Force Wrestling now, too, because they finally put on a good show at Slammiversary. Seemed like they were turning the page, getting rid of the filth and the muck from all the TNA letters for them. And then this comes out. I mean, granted, Del Rio kind of has this type of history, and they kind of took a chance on it, but it's kind of like, come on, this is like the Jeff Hardy scenario all over again when he was there, and he kept getting busted, and he was like, hurting his own self with all the drug abuse and everything else. But this is different. Del Rio's harming someone else. He's not harming himself.
No, because his own career is still moving forward.
Well, Global Force did the right thing. They did suspend him. He is suspended indefinitely. But that doesn't matter. They pre-tape everything. So he's on TV for the next, I think, 4 weeks now. I think after tonight's episode, it's 4 weeks. And he's going to be there. He's still on TV. Doesn't matter. Their next tapings aren't until the 17th. Nothing's going to happen until this case finally happens. And the way Paige and Del Rio work, no charges, I think, are going to be pressed. But if you think about it, remember when he got stabbed in San Antonio not too long ago? And there was, no police filing or whatever? You almost think maybe Paige stabbed him to get away from him.
I think that was one of the rumors that was,
that was one of those things that Paige stabbed him.
That it was Paige,
but maybe that's something else now. But I think everything just went downhill when her private videos and tapes got released. I think he can't get over that, and I think it's become worse since then. And he's just scorned, and he's just angry and bitter, and he's just gonna keep doing it until either something bad happens or until Paige finally walks away.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that will be going on for a little while.
Oh yeah,
still.
It's going to be talked about for a while.
All right, how about we turn the page and talk about that great testicles of lava?
One thing I noticed, I think for me at least, had a theme. You watch it, I'm thinking, wow, these matches are great, and then they just lay you a giant turd to finish it.
All in all, though, the wrestling in total was amazing.
Yeah.
The matches themselves were amazing. Some really good moments there. Some
great
good matches.
Foreplay, just couldn't finish.
I was actually going to say that. You beat me by 1 second.
Ooh, I beat you up. Beat you to it.
And you beat something else, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Easy, Del Rio.
High five.
Yeah. He was going to say Del Rio, and I said it.
And Rudy smacks his forehead.
So let's start with the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. We'll talk about it. All in all, I thought it was a good pay-per-view. Some of the endings were pretty bad, but I
really enjoyed the Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins match.
I thought it was a good match. Nothing great, nothing bad. It was good. I just don't get why they're fighting. There's no story behind it, so it's kind of hard to get into that type of feud.
More just realized Bray Wyatt has lost so many,
and he just needs a good
matches.
Feud and some wins, maybe.
And what better person to be like, I have a win over Seth Rollins?
That's true. Yeah,
to give him more credibility.
That feud's also gonna grow. We've also seen Seth running on Raw now with the help Dean with the Miz and the Miztourage. Maybe Seth's going for the Intercontinental title, which I think would be great. It gets a new feud going. I think him and Miz could have a good feud. So that works for me. But no, I thought Bray Wyatt winning over Seth, I could have went either way. Whoever won was a good match. But all in all, decent match, good starter for the show.
Yep.
Really good starter for the show. Next match
was the match that probably should have just been a pre-show, Big Cass and Enzo.
Yeah, because like I said last week on the podcast, 5-minute match, 3 minutes of Enzo talking. Although apparently it was 8 minutes. Enzo cut a promo for 8 minutes. That's a lot of talking for a guy who's just going to get fucking squashed.
Yeah.
Granted, though, that may have been Enzo's best promo he's ever cut, and it was a great promo. Amazing.
It's because he went back to his roots. New Jersey, did a lot of Frank Sinatra.
He did. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all in all, Cass looked like the big guy who's just going to kick the crap out of the little guy. And
Cass got all the heat from the crowd.
he did get all the heat.
Yeah.
He
Acknowledged the castle at the end of the show.
He did.
He's like, yeah, keep calling me it. I'm just going to keep going through everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. I liked his segment on the Raw Talk afterwards.
Yeah.
I think he looked good on that. He sounded good on that. He said all the right things, and, good for him. Moving on.
There was the 30-minute Iron Man tag match.
I thought this was match of the night. I thought this was excellent. I thought the tag team chemistry that they had was great. And also a lot of good heel work between Sheamus and Cesaro. The one thing I didn't like, though, well, two things. One was the referee counted 3, but it didn't count.
Yeah.
It was that close where, like, he counted 3, and you could see he counted 3, but he didn't count the pinfall. And then the last pinfall where, what's his name? Jeff hit the Swanton on Sheamus. Cesaro came in and pinned him. Jeff's shoulder came up, and it was clear as day. But
yeah, I was questioning that too when Jeff got pinned for doing the Swanton. It was like, wait a second. He just did a Swanton. He didn't have a move performed on him, so why is he like getting pinned and getting 3 counted? What the hell?
He's like flailing with both his shoulders going up the entire time.
And poor Cesaro's legs.
Oh, how did he not just get destroyed on that? I felt that in my hamstrings.
Yeah, you messaged me like, even I felt that in my hamstrings.
Oh, God.
Rest in peace.
Whose idea was that?
Rest in peace.
It probably was. He's probably like, guys, look what I can do. Hey, we could totally hit a move on that.
Oh, my God. If I was going to Raw the next night after that, I would have a sign that just has, like, maybe be creative, but then have The Undertaker, but then be like a tombstone saying, rest in peace, Cesaro's hamstrings.
Or, like, Cesaro can suck his own dick.
And now he can. I'd like to thank you guys for making me be able to do this.
Some people need to remove a rib. I just have a hearty jump on me.
You got a hard on, quite literally.
Oh, God.
yeah, but all in all, great match. I thought that match was great.
It really was. Yeah. Definitely, I would agree. Match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Fun match.
After that, we had the Sasha Banks Alexa Bliss match.
I thought it was a good match. I thought it was Alexa Bliss's best match of her like main roster career. Sasha's proven she's a great worker. I didn't like how Alexa just walked out because we just saw that at Money in the Bank with the Usos.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like why are you doing that again? That was bad. The brawl that they had afterwards, whatever, made up for it in a sense.
A little bit, but not enough.
I mean, it made it better than the actual finish. But yeah, and then the double jointed move where she looked like she dislocated her arm and then popped it back in and clocked Sasha. I thought that was fucking brilliant as a heel work. That was brilliant. Granted, she did that on SmackDown before, and if Sasha has apparently watched tape, she would have seen that. But even then, she was sitting there like, oh God, oh God.
I don't care. Even if you know that can happen,
yeah,
it is gross to look at that.
It is. Oh, I honestly thought, until I watched it again, I thought she like dislocated her arm. But then I watched it again, and I saw her like pop it out herself, and I was like, oh, there it is. But yeah, that was nasty.
I feel that match kind of ruined itself, though, because of the count-out. Any match, in my eyes, that I've seen that ends with just a count-out, especially if it's for a title, it just ruins it for me, man. Like, there are shitty finishes. Don't get me wrong. There are. But, like, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything shittier than just the count-out. Like, it's like, come on, man.
That's why I like no count-out matches.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, no disqualification type of thing, like... And most of the time, if it's not if it's not a no disqualification match, and it's like just a regular match, chances are someone's either running in or it's the whole count out thing.
I'm sure her next match because of that will be no disqualification or something.
Oh, yeah, I certainly hope so. I want to see.
Usually every time it happens, the next match is no DQ.
I want to see Sasha do the bank statement on the railing like she did to Charlotte again.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Then after that, we had the Intercontinental match, The Miz versus Dean Ambrose.
I thought this was the worst match of the night, only because it was the 1,000th match between Dean Ambrose and The Miz. Congratulations, they've faced each other 1,000 times for the title between SmackDown and Raw.
And worse.
Well, no, I thought their last match they had before this pay-per-view was good. I thought it was maybe one of the matches of the night because they had such chemistry and because all the other matches were just crap in a sense.
Miz's wife is here. Curtis Axel's here. Bo Dallas is here. I wonder if they're going to interfere in the match. Oh, look, they did. Ambrose lost. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, I think now it was the right move to have Miz still hold the title.
Well, yeah,
he builds it up. It looks good. Yeah, but I just hope they really do go somewhere else. Maybe even if, like I said before, if they do go Seth, I think that's a better move. And then Dean can still semi be in the picture, but he's not fighting for the title.
If they have some kind of like triple threat match
even
down
if
the
they
road,
just
put
throw
Dean in there.
Seth in there, and
someone's got to pin Dean for the title.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Unless like someone else has the title and Miz is in there, then they just pin Miz. Yeah, but we'll see.
We got the Strowman Roman Reigns match.
Loved it.
Awesome. I loved it. I thought it was some of the things in there were hilarious. Like the fact of Strowman getting hit by a chair was like, what? They got hit again. Chasing, pretty much just walking straight at Roman, and Roman looked like he was going to crap himself. I probably would have crapped myself, but yes. And then Strowman just screams at him, hit me, you son of a bitch, or something like that.
Yeah.
At that point, I would have just dropped the chair and just walked out. I would have just been like, I'm done. He wins. I'll get in the ambulance on my own. I'm not dealing with that shit. But, no, I thought it was a great match. I was kind of upset that, like, Strowman got, like, 2 seconds to kind of celebrate his victory, and then Roman came out
like dodged the spear, closed the door, celebrated, and then it's like, really, Roman's just sitting in the back of that ambulance for missing a spear.
But
and he came out and hunched like a gargoyle, and then Superman punched him. Ooh.
Yeah, and then beat the crap out of him, threw him in the back, and then almost committed murder. Attempted murder, vehicular homicide, and also leaving the scene of an accident. There was a lot of crimes committed in that segment. A lot.
But I mean, there's so many things they could have done. I mean, it was great to watch Strowman just say, no, I'm walking away. I think it would have been cool if he just kicked the door down after all of that.
He had legit fucking cuts on him, though.
Yeah,
he was bleeding. Like, he was... Like, those cuts on him and everything looked bad. Like, that looked bad.
Yeah, because I'm sure he was sitting seatbelted in a chair, but he still had to take the brunt of that force being smashed.
I remember my first time bleeding. He definitely bleeded for some of those cuts, but it is what it is. I thought it was a weird segment, considering it is kind of weird that Roman got so mad he lost that he had to almost kill Strowman, and he still walked away.
Yeah,
Strowman still walked away.
Strowman wrapped his own arm up.
Yeah.
It was like flopping. I thought it was like dead skin.
Oh, you know what it was? He had an arm pad, or he wrapped his elbow before.
Yeah.
And then he ripped the tape like halfway through the match after Roman attacked it. So I think that's what it was. And then the blood just got on it, and it was just whatever.
Yeah.
But, no, I thought this segment was great. I thought the match was great. I thought it was if it wasn't for the tag match, I think that's would have been match of the night easily.
Yeah, I mean, it was close, but I mean, it was still pretty far from that tag match.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had the useless match. So we're just going to skip over it. Heath Slater, Kurt Hawkins.
That was the one thing I want to say. Why did they do that if they were just going to have them do a couple punches to each other and then go straight back to the Strowman segment?
They finished.
They didn't even let it finish, right?
No, they didn't let it
They
finish.
cut right back to because like when the paramedics and when the fire department arrived to like Jaws of Life, the ambulance open. No, forget Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater. Just cut away, and you hear the bell ring.
And also you hear, yep, and Heath Slater beat Kurt Hawkins.
By the way, Heath Slater won, guys. Heath Slater won.
Which is no surprise.
Yeah, because Kurt Hawkins has just been brought back to be a jobber, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And then we had the main event, Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe.
I thought it started out great. I
was.
thought
It
Joe
was just-
going after him before the bell, putting him through the table, making Brock go on spaghetti leg a little bit. I thought that was great. And I think Joe really put in a good work. I thought it was a good match. I just wish it would have ended a little better. Like, all in all, together, they both had the things. I think Joe went for the Kikina clutch a little too much. That's my other criticism of it. But I thought it was a good match. They both put in some heavy strikes. It was Joe putting in his work and Brock with the suplexes, and then Joe putting back in work and putting in the clutch and then suplexes again.
Take out one Coquina clutch, maybe have him try the muscle buster, just have Joe be like, no.
Have Joe put him up there and then Brock fight out of it. Joe goes for the muscle buster. Brock fights out, turnaround F5. Completely fine with that being the ending. But the fact that it was a Kikina clutch and Brock was like purple and almost passed out and it just picked up.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. I didn't.
Mike Roulette tonight.
Mike Roulette. I didn't mind that Brock won. I was actually like rooting for him, but I have to agree, match was over too soon, and seeing like how much of a hard ass that Joe is and what he put Brock through, and like how resilient he is in all his other matches, I was really expecting him to kick out of that F5 and like go on for maybe another 5 or 6 minutes into the match.
Yeah, it got like one F5.
One F5
done.
and that's it. Like Undertaker is like double Joe's age. Takes 3 to beat him. Cena takes multiple F5s, but like Super Cena. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, he should
He's a
have did it
Kryptonian.
once, picked him up, did it again.
Yeah, but it was just over after
That's-
one. I was
That's
like,
10 seconds
look
extra.
at that. Yeah,
Makes the finish
look at that. Brock won.
better.
Brock won after one F5.
I think if Brock F5'd them and then picked them up again just to be sure, that would have been another good one.
Yeah, something like that.
Although on Raw, though, they started building up,
Ooh.
where Joe came out, people were more interested in Joe and Lesnar than anything Roman had to say. And Joe went off. He was all over Brock. I think him and Brock almost got into like a real fight because they got heated. They were face to face. I thought they were going to start punching each other and shit. And then Roman sitting there making one-liners, and Joe's like, "Shut the fuck up," pretty much.
I'm pretty sure Brock and Joe don't like each other.
No, I'm sure they actually do in the back.
I'm not so sure about that, man, because when they get heated, they look legitimately like they're gonna kill each other. If that's acting, that's really good kayfabe. That's really good kayfabe. That's like the best kayfabe I've seen then.
Well, Joe is really good at looking that angry. And Brock just has to breathe and he turns bright red.
Yeah, I know, but also keep in mind, a lot of people backstage, yes, there's wrestlers that like Brock and are friends with Brock, but there is a good chunk of people
that
who
just
do
hate
not
him for the business.
Like him.
He doesn't show up every week. He only shows up for a pay-per-view.
So you got to take into account like Joe's personality clashing with Brock. It wouldn't be surprising if they really just hate each other.
Yeah.
Like Ambrose hates Lesnar. He told like the biggest story ever of how hard it was to work with Lesnar for the WrestleMania match because Lesnar knew he was going to win that, and he didn't want to put any effort into making it look good. So Ambrose was like working that whole match by himself, just having to go along with what Brock wanted to do and how it was playing out because Brock did not want to put like all this time into it, and that's why it ended up just being like a squash fest, crappy match. So like I'm saying, it would make sense if Joe and Brock don't like each other. I personally think they don't like each other just by the way they look at each other and like the way they get pissed off and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, I think they're okay with each other. I think it's more of like just spur of the moment thing. Yeah, I don't think they're great friends, but I think they respect each other and respect the careers. Although Joe making comments about Brock being a part-timer and stuff like that is fine. You know, it's gonna happen. Everyone thinks it. Joe's just not afraid to say it.
Yeah, well, that pretty much wraps up.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about today. Just 2 items. 2 topics, and we talked probably more than most times when we have like 6 or 7 things.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have another update next week on the whole Del Rio situation.
Yeah, probably. It'll probably be like, Paige said it's fine. Paige is pregnant. You know, something like that.
I think the only other big thing this past week was we had Bobby Fish debut on NXT.
Very happy about that. Bobby Fish, well deserved to be in NXT. Looked good. A little upset with the fact that Aleister Black got his legs taken out pretty much by Bobby Fish. Still won with the black mass. I still think that's one thing that needs to be changed in wrestling. If someone is taking out the legs or taking out a body part and the finisher is needed for that body part, they need to come up with a way. Schoolboy. Package pin. Something like that. Just something. Something different.
Or at least miss the first kick.
Yeah,
Set
and sell it.
And show pain in your face if you actually spin that leg up for the black mat.
Or sell it. Like, even if he did hit the black mat, like, when he did, he could have been like, ow, and sold his knee a little bit.
And fell down to his other knee and then pinned him.
Yeah. But it is what it is. He, like, half sold it afterwards and everything. Oh, one thing I want to ask you guys before we leave. Okay. Do you hate the fact that all the entrance ramps and stages look the same now? That they don't do like those special stages they used to do in like early 2000s and like 2010,
where each event had its own like cool stage.
Yeah, like this Great Balls of Fire one, they could have had a bunch of like caddies and stuff like that set up, like a drive-in movie screen set up for the entrance ramp. That would have been perfect.
It really would have. Now you say that, I think they should definitely try to bring that back. This would have been the perfect pay-per-view to start that up again.
Exactly. Battleground that you could sit there and put some like war stuff around or whatever, like tanks and everything.
Cannons.
I miss when SmackDown used to have that giant freaking fist coming out of the top of the entrance ramp. Just that big fist, you know? Yeah,
Rudy just likes things being fisted.
But I have to agree. And if they're going to bring back themed pay-per-views, just bring back Halloween Havoc.
That was the first thing on my mind.
Halloween Havoc.
We are all on the same page here.
Halloween Havoc, man.
But you know, someone like the New Day would wear something that would get them in trouble.
Page outfit.
Yes.
Xavier would roll himself in like baby powder. It'd be that pale.
No.
You'd have like Kofi dressed as Maddox and Biggie as Paige.
Biggie would be Maddox.
And just following around Xavier with a camera. Like, it would be so bad.
And then you of course Biggie would be doing the dance.
Randy Orton comes out with the as the new Maharaja.
Well, we just offended a huge chunk of viewers, probably.
Well, now we lost the whole entire Indian fan base.
We are kind of racist guys.
Okay, I guess that ends our show.
Yeah, that'll be it for now.
Rudy, shaking his head now.
I think that's gonna do it. Then
good night.